Are you a self-storage facility owner or manager looking to attract more customers and boost your business? Look no further than The Storage Group, the ultimate solution for your online marketing needs. The Storage Group is a digital marketing firm specializing in cutting-edge self-storage technology products and services. We ensure industry success and improve customer experience through website design, digital marketing services, search engine optimization, and software development for the storage industry. And the Storage Group's Click and Store is self-storage's only rental suite. This is more than a rental tool. Click and Store Online Rental Suite is an extensive platform that optimizes revenue, enhances rental security, and increases your facility's visibility. We pioneer, innovate, and create. Our experts develop proven digital marketing strategies catered to your needs. With extensive search marketing research, we drive client success through their websites. Contact us for more information at www.storageinternetmarketing.com or call 407-680-2235.
Are you a self-storage owner or operator looking for service providers to help at your facility? Well, the Storage Business Owners Alliance, also known as the SBOA, has you covered. The SBOA is the premier online hub for connecting self-storage owners and operators to industry-leading products and service providers. We provide one-stop shopping for your business with exclusive offers to save time and money. At the SBOA, we believe by coming together, we help owners and operators grow revenue, gain purchasing power, reduce expenses, improve efficiencies, and increase profitability. We also offer many resources such as our conferences and Self-Storage Unlock webinars to help self-storage owners and operators gain the knowledge needed to become more competitive in the industry. To become an SBOA member or to find out more information, please visit www.thesboa.com today. We can't wait for you to join the Alliance.
Good morning, everyone from dreary Michigan. I'm jealous of Heather, who's in Florida today. I'm Iris Segan, and I am the marketing manager for the SBOA, also known as the Storage Business Owners Alliance. And big welcome to everybody today for Self-Storage Unlocked. We have a great topic today. It is why search engine optimization and social media are still relevant to your digital media strategy. So we have a great group here from the Storage Group, and Jeannie Dotson is going to lead the discussion. But before we bring Jeannie on, I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping tips. One is the comment section. As you'll see, we already have a ticker going at the bottom. If you haven't told us who you are, where you're from yet, we'd definitely love to hear from you. Get used to using that little comment section. So if you have any questions today, please put them in those comments and we'll try our best to get to all of the questions today. If we cannot get to your question, we keep notes of them and someone will get back to you with an answer. And so first up, I'm just going to go right ahead on in and bring up Jeannie Dotson. Hi, Jeannie. How are you?
Great. How are you this morning?
I'm good. You are the marketing manager also for the storage group.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you, what you guys do, and what we're going to talk about today.
Sure. The Storage Group is a digital marketing agency that focuses in the industry of self-storage as well as boat and RV storage. So we offer, website design, anything marketing your website, SEO that we're going to be talking about, which is search engine optimization, pay-per-click, local listings, reputation management. But we also have the first online rental tool called Click and Store, and that integrates with a number of the top property management systems. So it seamlessly creates an Amazon-like experience for your tenants to go on your website and rent or reserve units online. And then you can also there's a lot of different features you can get, like push notifications, abandonment reports. There's a whole suite of things that it does to make online easier for people to be able to rent from you 24 hours a day. I am the marketing manager. Just to give you a little bit of background on me. I have been working in the field of marketing. This is going to age me, but since 1994, and I've concentrated on digital marketing since 2000. I started out, I was in television and worked at a number of TV stations doing promotions and marketing. Got into digital marketing in 2000 and never looked back because it's a great field that's always growing and changing. And I've actually worked for different companies in the past 9 years that has focused on self-storage. So not only know a lot about marketing, but also this industry as well. Our team that we have with us will be Jody O'Brien, who is our director of operations, as well as Tiffany Estep, and she's our social media specialist. And our team will be answering questions. Like Iris said, if you have additional questions, please add them in the comments. We'll be happy to get to them. We do have some questions lined up for our team, but we would love to hear from you guys, see what you guys would like to hear about, so that we can kind of tailor this a bit to make sure that we address those things. When Jody talks, she'll be primarily handling SEO questions, search engine optimization questions, while Tiffany will be focusing more on the social media questions. And the reason we wanted to do this webinar, I'll say, is because every once in a while there'll be this report, or this, not report, but an article that will come out that will say, oh, SEO is irrelevant, social media is irrelevant. And we just couldn't feel like it's farther from the truth. Digital marketing all helps each other. You have to do every different nuance of it well in order for it to help you. And it's part of the overall digital marketing strategy. So they are very important. So I wanted to bring on these two team members so they can specifically address SEO as well as social media. We're going to start with Jody. I'm going to let Jody introduce herself. And then when she's done, I can ask her first question. Hi, Jody.
Hi. So I'm Jody O'Brien. I'm the Director of Operations for the Storage Group, as Jeannie mentioned. I've been with the company for 8 years. I was previously the Director of Search Marketing and Website Production. I have 10 years experience in the self-storage industry, and I came from a background of marketing, web development, and search engine optimization.
Yes, quite knowledgeable, and we appreciate you coming on here and talking today. What do you tell people when you hear at the shows or different things that SEO is no longer relevant when it comes to marketing your self-storage facility?
I would definitely say that SEO is still relevant. Search engines are constantly updating their algorithms to rank. You have to be able to check your rankings, be aware of the updates, perform A/B testing as needed, and update your website accordingly. Also, with the rise of mobile devices, there's location-based searches, online purchase, and so on. Optimizing for local SEO is crucial for businesses. And we all know
Yes.
competition is growing, which, I mean, obviously you want to be found everywhere it's possible within the SERPs and maps and organic searches.
So
And
very, very relevant to the entire scheme of it. And you had mentioned local marketing, and we'll get into a question deeper into that. But I want to remind everybody, you guys know, as owners of self-storage facilities or managers, that local, self-storage is a hyper-local industry. So I would say SEO is more than important. It's imperative that you do.
yeah, and over time, algorithms are just becoming more and more sophisticated. So it just takes more, obviously, base knowledge and just growing and developing upon that knowledge. Also, Google prefers high trust, high authority sites. The best way to earn that is through a strong optimization plan. And I'd say that any businesses that just totally ignores SEO is going to lose out on a lot of opportunity and potential customers.
Definitely. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
I wanted to, we're going to switch back and forth between the topics depending on, some of you may be here for SEO, some of you may be here for social media. So we're going to be switching back and forth. But we want to cover both fairly equally so that you get a good idea about it. We're going to bring up Tiffany. Tiffany, if you can introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Hey everyone, I am Tiffany, obviously the social media specialist with the Storage Group. I've been with the Storage Group about 1.5 years now, but I've been doing social media all my life. I used to have a MySpace back when it was MySpace, and I have a TikTok channel and all that cool stuff. So I love it. I love helping people in the storage industry, because some people think it's kind of a not exciting topic, but it really can be. So I'll explain a little bit more on that later. But that's me. So
thank you, Tiffany. The first question I wanted to ask you is, what do you feel makes social media still a very vital part of a facility's digital marketing strategy?
So you actually get this a lot. People in the self-storage industry actually don't think that social media is important. I don't have a lot of followers, so why would I even care? And the truth of it is that social media is the most effective and one of the least expensive ways that you can increase your brand awareness. It's, and then the other part of it is Google now is placing more emphasis on how important it is to SEO. Most recently, part of your Google business profile now is going to include it. Right now includes a link to your Facebook page or whatever your social media channels are. But pretty soon it's going to actually bring in actual social media posts. So it's super important to how you rank on Google. Like I said, even more so going so in the future.
That's right. That's right. Because it looks at your overall digital presence when it's ranking. So not only is SEO important for your overall digital strategy, but social media helps you to get that trust that Google is looking for. Iris, do you want me to mention the poll questions? We wanted to get an idea about the audience and the makeup of the audience.
Yeah, I was just going to pop in and say something. I didn't want to interrupt anybody, but yeah, audience, if you could answer the poll questions, that really helps us identify who you are and helps direct our conversation a little bit. So our first poll question is just, how do you rate your current knowledge of SEO? Are you a beginner, intermediate, advanced? If you could let us know in the chat, that will be great. And we'll have a few more questions coming up throughout the broadcast as well.
Yep. Jody, what do you feel like is the most significant change when it comes to SEO, let's say in the past year?
And there have been a ton of changes. Google's changing everything. But I would say most importantly, there's such a strong focus on spam. There was actually Google removed like hundreds of fake reviews from Google business profiles. They've been removing emails, which I'm sure most people are probably aware of. They also had a core update released in March, so just a month ago. The update promised to remove 40% of low quality websites. So their goal is just to remove unhelpful, irrelevant, unoriginal content from search results. They also want to decrease poor user experience. So they did some pretty swift penalties immediately. Some link building sites and others were like just immediately removed from the index. So usually in Google Search Console, you can kind of go look and see what happened, but they didn't even post it there. You're gone, essentially. People create pages with like specific keywords and try to like manipulate search engines just to get results for those keywords or those pages. A lot of those are gone and will be gone or were penalized. They're also penalizing AI content websites. So that just kind of proves Google still wants human created original content. That's still what they're supporting. So I would say outdated error-filled sites that survive this are still pretty vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to remember, to everybody on the webinar, Google's main goal, well, is to sell advertising, let's be honest. But
Right.
their goal is to provide, like if somebody searches for something, is to provide the best answers and the best websites to answer that question. So they're always looking for that. They don't want people who are doing shortcuts or trying to trick the system or anything like that, which tends to be called black hat SEO. We don't do any of that. It's never going to help you. And if you get removed from Google, I always say Google owns the world. They just allow us to live here, kind of a thing. They can demand what they want. And as long as you go by their guidelines, your website will reap the benefits from that, but you have to do things properly because they want to make sure you are and your website provides what you say it does so that they can be confident in listing your website.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you, Jeannie. I will say Google doesn't always announce their updates and they don't always provide what exactly they did. So the overall solution to this is just somebody to keep up with updates. That person should understand algorithms well, so they can identify changes and their implications and know how to optimize your website accordingly so you can stay ahead of such harsh penalties and keep your website ranking.
Definitely. Thank you. I know we have another poll question. It's similar to the first one, but for this one, we wanted to find out so that we can get to know our audience and where you guys are. How would you describe your experience with social media marketing? So are you a beginner? Are you intermediate? Are you advanced? Just so that we can get a feel for who's out there and watching this.
So Jeannie, how would you describe, like if someone says they're intermediate, how would you quantify that or qualify it?
I would say that they've heard of things like meta tags, even if they can't go into great description, but they know, oh, these are important. My headlines need to use keyword phrases. I have to identify keywords that I want to use within reason and logically on your website. Things like that would be intermediate. You may not know the latest. That would definitely be advanced. You're actively looking at blogs and forums and posts and newsletters that focus on this. What the Google is announcing and launching and all that stuff. Beginner is just, whoa, this is all new to me. I need to, I don't even understand some of these words, that kind of a thing. So I would say having a general understanding of what SEO is, and I'm sorry, we keep using acronyms, but search engine optimization, that is for organic ranking. So you have paid listing, you have paid ads, and they'll say, paid, or they keep switching what they say, but you sponsored or whatever. And then you have your organic. So you're not paying for that. You're not paying every time somebody clicks on it. So it's definitely important to have good SEO because you're not paying per click. You're just getting people to your website.
Absolutely.
Did that help you? Did that explain it?
Yeah, I mean, I know, but for our audience, especially if they're a beginner, they might not know like what's the difference between intermediate and advanced.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure.
If let's go to Tiffany. I wanted to give you another question. Can you tell me what a social media strategy is and why it's important?
Yeah. Social media strategy, that's really just your plan or your guide for what you're going to do in your social media and how that relates back to your goals. And what it really does is helps to make a cohesive plan. So you're not just posting on social media random things about your business. You're actually posting things that people will draw them to your website, draw them to your page, and things like that. So I always tell people it's like when you post, what you post, how often you're going to post, and how that relates to your business goals. They're important because, again, it helps keep everything cohesive and make sure that we're working and saves you time creating content too. I like to know ahead of time kind of what my posts are going to be about, making sure I don't repeat content and stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm. And I think we as business owners sometimes go, oh, of course people know we have this. But it's always good to say we have what security measures you have at your facility. The hours, that if you have gated access, just all sorts of things. All those things are important. Even if you feel like, oh, everybody knows if we're self-storage, we have these things. It's good to talk about your features, your benefits, if you can pay your bill online, anything that makes their life easier, it's always a good thing to show. And that can be done, which is wonderful, for free pretty much on social media. So that's a free marketing avenue for us. So definitely a good idea to use it wisely. Thank you, Tiffany. Jody, I wanted to go back to you and see, we had touched upon earlier about local SEO strategies and how self-storage is hyper-local. If you can talk about what a local SEO strategy would entail and why it's important, especially to the self-storage industry.
Okay. Local SEO strategies are just strategies implemented to help your business compete online in your local marketplace on maps and organic search, which I think that statement kind of indicates the importance of why we want to make sure we do this. Some of the things you want to do, and there's tons, but I'm going to go over some different strategies or ways you can make sure you're optimizing your local presence. One is your Google business profile. You want to make sure you're verified, 100% complete, business hours, business description. You can add pictures for your products. You add images. You want to keep adding them over time, always being active. Make sure someone's monitoring and answering your questions. People ask questions and then you see it all the time. There's no answer. It's been weeks or months. Also, you want to make sure you respond to the reviews, bad ones, good ones, post weekly promotions and events. And again, as Tiffany said, they're bringing in your social posts to those. So social signals, likes, and that kind of thing to be linked to your Google business profile. You also want to make sure your listings are consistent across the web. So that's your NAP on local directories. I do have a tip on that one. You want to make sure you mimic Google. Whatever address Google has, Google, if they write road 4 letters, if they RD with a dot, RD with no dot, which tends to be what they do now, make sure you're mimicking that on your website and local listings because they're less inclined to change and since they own the world, as Jeannie said, that's what they're doing. Also, location pages are great. Local keyword optimization, link building. I always recommend the Chamber of Commerce is a great high authority backlink to have, and they will link back to your website. Another example, we once had like a reopening for a storage facility. We invited local news media, and they wrote an article. They happen to have an online newspaper as well, so they linked back, which is also a great relevant local high authority link back to your website.
Yeah.
The other thing, and obviously Tiffany's going to talk a lot about it, is just social media presence.
Definitely. And when Jody was talking about NAP, because we tend to use acronyms, and I'm sorry, it's just like in the background. It's always
to do that.
It's name, address, phone number. So the things to be able to contact you have to be correct and the same. So like she said, if you're on Main Street, look at Google and see if it's Main and then ST period, or is it the abbreviation, or is it written out? You want to have that consistent. It's down to that, because basically Google's trying to make sure that business is the same as the business listed someplace else. So the more things that match and are exactly the same, the more Google and its algorithm is confident, yes, this is the same thing. This has information about self-storage in this area. So I'm going to show this as a result when somebody asks for self-storage in Detroit or wherever. So that's why it's important. There was something else I was going to mention.
While you look at that, Jeannie, I'm just going to remind the audience again that we have 3 poll questions up now. The last one was, who is currently handling your search engine optimization? So are you in-house? Your employees are doing it, you're doing it. Are you getting an agency or a consultant, or are you just not handling it at all? We want to know.
Yes, thank you. Great information, Jody. I appreciate that. Tiffany, we had touched on earlier, you had mentioned that, a lot of people have a hard time when you talk about social media, because you think of Instagram and cool things you can take pictures of and all this stuff. Self-storage and boat and RV storage, you can have a really lovely big ticket items that you store there. But overall, self-storage may not be seen as one of the most exciting industries, so compared to other industries. So how do you continue to write and create engaging content for social media?
Sure. What I usually do is I keep what I call my social ears open. What that means is I follow other people on Facebook that I think do a really good job on their social media or have a really big following, and see what they're doing to kind of attract people. And I might build a post that's similar to what they're doing. I also research all the time, like common reasons that people use storage. What are people using storage for? And you got like moving, you've got home renovations, sometimes it's college storage, or like you mentioned, the boat and RV storage is a big thing right now. So just making sure that my social media posts align with what people are actually looking for on the internet. And then currently I'm working with AI on trying to get ideas. I will say, give me some ideas for social media posts for this storage facility, and it'll list out some. I would say, though, cautionary as a tool right now, they're kind of, my son would call them mid. They, often they'll repeat content and stuff like that. But I think really as we go down this path, the AI is going to learn more and develop more and become a really useful tool in the future.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on AI. I actually had it written down here for us to touch on that. I would say at this point, I agree, definitely, Tiffany. It's more for generating ideas. It's not for generating specific content. First of all, it's questionable to do that. And most people can tell. I can read content and I'm like, that's AI generated because it sounds right. But if you know the term, it's kind of means what it says, but they don't know enough. AI is only it's like a database. It's only as good as the information you put in. So it's still learning and grasping and understanding different industries. So I'd say AI right now is good for generating ideas, and then you go and write it out.
Yeah. And
I would caution people to the AI sometimes will give you just information that's completely incorrect. Sometimes it just goes off the rails, and I'm like, that is not even close to related to what's going on. So
sometimes we love Chat GPT, but it's more of like a writing prompt than actually, you definitely don't just post it without reading it. You could have a huge word salad.
Yes.
You're
Yeah,
going
absolutely.
in and editing that up, but sometimes when you have to come up with content every single day, your mind starts to go blank, and so having a little AI to just kind of poke in your ear and help you out a little bit with a prompt can help out. And I think it's also important, and Tiffany, I'm sure you do the same thing. You don't want it to all be business. There's that 80-20 rule where maybe 20% of it you kind of mix in just something fun to get some more engagement.
yeah.
And Google is able to, from their update they did last month, it's obvious they're able to recognize some of that AI content if people are just copy pasting it and they're considering that spam. So definitely great for idea creation, though.
Right. Yeah, that's what we use it for too.
Yeah.
I would say too, just as a helpful thing to the people that are attending the webinar is when they go, I don't know what to write for social media. I say, you guys are the experts. Like, I've only needed self-storage a few times in my life, but when I do, it's a whole new thing. I have to think like, what's the best way to store photographs or an appliance or an RV or whatever it is. Those are my things. I worked hard for everything I've gotten. So um, my stuff is very important to me. I always tell the managers and the owners, like, you are experts at this. People really need your guidance for here's the best way to store old photographs. Here's, or to use storage, especially around Christmas time, so that your little, so that your kids don't find Santa's stash. There's just different things you can do. Or if you're going to college, like, how do you know what size to get? You don't want too big of a storage unit. You don't want too small. So, like, do you have a storage calculator? All that stuff. So, all these things, think about those things that you get asked by people and that you help them with one-on-one, and those can be ideas for social media posts.
That's what I
do a great job. I look at her stuff and I'm like, man, she's good.
I tell people, it's also good for blogs. Think about what are the questions you're answering every single day? What's the stuff you repeat constantly that if you just wrote it on a t-shirt, you could save yourself some time? Those are your blogs. Those are your social media posts. And you can repost them. You don't have to just write it once. You can have evergreen content. You can have it once, and if it's really good and relevant, post it again in a month or something. Not everybody's going to see it the first time, or maybe they need a reminder. Very similar to just, it's an ad, but it's free, which is the great thing about social media.
Yeah, spreading that knowledge, spreading that information. Iris, if you want to put the last poll question up, it relates to social media. We wanted to know which social media platforms your facility uses. So we have Facebook, Instagram, X, which of course is formerly Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, or none, just so that we can get an idea. And then if you guys can give us the different channels that you use, that would be great. Jody, I wanted to go back to you. I know we get this a lot when we're at shows. Can single location or mom and pop facilities compete with REITs when it comes to organic rankings? What are some of the things that you tell people, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of single location facilities, and we have some larger, obviously, properties, but we have overall 98% of our facilities rank excellent rankings, and there's pretty much a REIT in, I won't say every market, but a ton of them. So yeah, absolutely. I would say REITs do rank well. They have a lot of trust and authority. The more competitive your marketplace, the more important SEO is just going to become. So you just want to take advantage of all the resources available to you. I mentioned most of these earlier: local listings, social signals, keeping your Google business profile active and up to date is very important. Responding to reviews. You can also blogs. Blogs are great for content. You can use long tail keywords based on common trending search queries and questions. This kind of goes back to the social media that they were just talking about and coming up with ideas. If you look in Google search, there's a section that says people also ask. So look at those, add those to your FAQs, add those to your blogs, use that in your social media. Those things are going to come up when people are searching for those common asked questions.
And I would say too that it used to be search queries were very 1 or 2 word answers. Now they're full questions.
Yes.
Because some people use voice activated or whatever. So it's more full term questions. And the more you can do that, then the better it is for Google. They're able to pull those. And then when people have those, it may pull up what the answers are. So all those things can help. I do remember what I was going to say when Jody was talking earlier about NAP and everything. One thing that we hear a lot is a lot of people use their mobile to look for local businesses. So that's important to keep in mind, because you want your mobile device, your website on mobile to have the same functionality, to be easy to navigate and use, because that is where they are looking for, especially local businesses. But when it comes to like your Google business profile, one of the things that has on there is your hours. You need to keep those updated, because people will go, I get so angry if I look it up on Google and it says it's open and then I go and it's closed. And it's really easy to make that change if something happens and your hours switch or it's a holiday or anything like that. But they will not use a business because of that. So those things are very important. They're like, I took the time to look this up and it wasn't correct. They're very offended by that. So just keep that in mind, how important that is, not only from a search engine standpoint, but from a user standpoint, and they could go on to your competitors instead. Plus, if you offer online rentals and somebody else doesn't, there's whole generations that don't actually, my younger brother and sister don't have a computer at home. They do everything from their phone because they were used to that. To me, sometimes I don't like doing some things on my phone because it's a smaller screen. It's like comes in utero, I guess. I don't know. But like they are used to that. It doesn't bother them. They'll do all their transactions online, maybe on an iPad, but definitely on their phone. So you need that same functionality, because that's how a lot of people, especially generations coming up, are looking for local businesses, interacting with local businesses. So that's another important thing to keep in mind. I did want to mention, if anybody has some additional questions that we haven't gone over, put those in the chat as well. I know we've been engaging with you guys with our poll questions, but if there's something that you would like Jody or Tiffany or Iris or I to answer, please put that in the comments section as well. And I think, Tiffany, do you have any final thoughts about the importance of social media?
I really think if you don't have a Facebook page, at least at a minimum, start with that. And also LinkedIn. Those tend to be the 2 biggest platforms, I think, for this industry. And so, yeah, just get started. Just get in there, post consistently. That's the best place to get started with social media.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Definitely. Even if you start with just once a week and then start going from there. But yeah, like you said, I think consistency is key. You don't want people to look you up and then see that you made a post, in 2022.
Then they're like, is the business open?
They're wondering, are you still even open? Yeah. You definitely just, even if it's something just to post about a holiday, just so they know you're still open, you're still there, you're still doing something at your business.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a great way, like we had mentioned before, community involvement. Facebook is a great way to show off your community involvement. It's very important. I will reiterate about the Chamber of Commerce as a tool. Their whole job is to promote local businesses, and you'd be surprised how much they'll do. If you say, "Hey, I'm a local business. Can you promote us?" And they'll do that without a doubt, and send people over, and they'll get their people to look at it, and people look at Chamber of Commerce's when they first come to an area, to find local businesses. So those are all really great things, and social media is a great way to do that. It's a great way to talk about specials or things that set you apart. Think about, what do I have that the guy down the street doesn't have? Do I have sizes that are very much needed that my competitor doesn't have available? Am I convenient? Are there certain, is there a university by you? Should you be targeting people? Or is there a military base by you? They would be needing that, or apartment complexes, establishing relationships with those local businesses, promoting what you're doing in the community, any community events you're involved in. And you'd be surprised how much those get shared and talked about.
Absolutely. We do have a question from Heather, and I guess everybody could go answer for this one. What is your favorite platform to use to post to social media? I think Tiffany already mentioned Facebook and LinkedIn, but maybe you could elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, I always choose Facebook because it's the biggest platform. It still, even though people have said Facebook has died a little bit, it still has the biggest following of any of the social platforms. And because Facebook also owns Instagram, it's really easy in their Meta suite to just post the same thing right over to Instagram. So I would say if I only had limited time or had to pick one, that would probably be the one.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong with Facebook. We have one of our favorite facility owners is Max Valentin at Gate 5 Storage. He has one facility, but he is great on social media. And if you ever need ideas, just follow Max, because Gate 5 Storage. And he is on Instagram. He's on everything. And he just does a great job. And he just brings a lot of light to, the industry. And I love Max. So
I'm gonna write that down.
And on Gate 5, just, and he'll have like something relevant to holidays, or, he always keeps a good sense of humor about him. And you don't have to be so serious with all of it. Really, people are more likely to engage if you're not. You still want to be businesslike and you want to be professional, but you have a little fun with it, or maybe show some pictures of a really well-organized storage unit, or, something people did to add some shelving or something like that. We've heard of other companies using influencers, and, the Barbie movie was really big for, people were using that because she put some of her stuff in storage. So, use whatever you can and just make it fun.
Yeah. So, social media, I would say, is where you can show personality. Yeah. And have one-on-one without being one-on-one, where, like you said, if somebody has a really good presence or personality, video is very important. But it's like, do you have days with your staff where you guys do something fun, or, donate to something? People like to see the people that work at a location and what makes their job funny or fun, or things you don't think about, or stuff like that. So it's really a great way to show off, the individuals that work there. And give credence to your business and why they would want to choose your business rather than another, maybe even, if you have a mom and pop, why it's better than maybe a REIT that's big in multi locations. I mean, there's just all different ways you can go at that. That kind of shows what sets you apart.
Yeah, because like you mentioned earlier, you want to point out what differentiates you from your competition. And most often it's the people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got a 5x5, or a 10x10, but why do I want to go to you? If I'm 5 miles away from both of you, why would I go there? And people are on their social media all the time, and all of a sudden those faces start to become familiar to them. That's where they're going to go.
Yeah. And that's their stuff. That's their hard work. They worked hard for their stuff, and it's someplace, and you're giving it and having it on somebody else's property. That takes some letting go. Maybe I'm a control freak, but it's like, okay,
I think Jeannie has a hard time letting go.
I think so. She likes her stuff.
Hey, no therapy sessions. No, just kidding. And then Jody, if we can go to you, any final thoughts about the importance of SEO that you want to touch upon?
Yeah, I would just say to make sure you keep up with SEO. It's still relevant. Keep up with algorithm news and optimizing, and take advantage of all the available resources in your local online marketplace. Sorry.
Okay.
It's better there, but yeah.
We have a lot of beginners. And so, Jody, what would you say, like, if you had to give them one tip on how to optimize their SEO? Because a lot of people don't really, that's a mystery to them, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, there's like 200 ranking factors. So it's a little difficult to say, just do this. I will say that most predominantly content is important. As long as you're not trying to manipulate anyone, you're providing like useful content that's, honest, obviously credible, and that kind of thing, you're going to be okay. Essentially to start. Keep up with your social media, make sure you have your Google business profile, and just be honest is a good start. Because if you're trying to use any manipulative tactics, I know people get into SEO and they're like, oh, do that. Oh, let's do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Be very careful. Just make sure if it seems like you're being manipulative, don't do it. Right. So,
right. And they have ways of figuring things out. Even if it's something new and people start doing that, Google will jump on that really quick.
Oh, right. You're not the first person who thought of it. And Google already knows.
And you don't want to be on Google's bad side. That's bad.
Absolutely. Credibility,
So
content, etc.
Yeah, content is king. No matter what, it goes back to, and when we follow, like, what the developers are doing over at Google and everything, and it comes back to certain key factors. So we know with SEO as well as with social media, it's always changing. Google, how they rank things, and we talk about Google because the other ones are just so far behind what Google has. YouTube is another one, and that's where video comes in, and that's helpful. Some people use that as their search engine, actually, is YouTube, so they can see how to. So it might be good. How do you put your boxes in a storage facility so it's logical for you to come in and out, all that kind of stuff. But I know these things can be time consuming, and they can be overwhelming, especially when you're running a business and you may have multiple locations. So I would say my advice is, if you feel like, wow, I don't know if I can get into all of this, then I would definitely encourage you to look for a company that understands the industry that you're in, that can do that, has a team of experts that stays on top of everything for you. And, just make sure that they're doing what we call white hat SEO tactics and social media that is not trying to clickbait anybody and get people there for nefarious reasons, that, it is what it is. So use a trusted company that can handle these things for you, and make sure that they understand the storage industry, because all industries are different. But like I said, storage is hyper local. People will only drive so far to utilize a storage facility. So that's why it's so important to have good rankings within your area, the market that you cover. So that would be my final advice.
So, Jeannie, for people who are, new, or just maybe don't feel they have time, what if they call a storage group and say, help us with our social media, what can you do for them for marketing?
Sure. Well, we have different packages for different things that we can do. SEO. Let's say SEO is, there's a launch. If you do a website, then there's a SEO launch. If depending on different packages, you can get services for your facility on a monthly basis or quarterly basis, just to keep things updated. As far as SEO, Tiffany, typically, how many posts do you do for a client in a week?
It's 2 a week for the organic.
Yeah. And I mean, you have some people are like, post 11 times, and it's like, okay, unless you're giving gold away to people, like nobody wants to hear from it, so it's that balance of giving helpful information, making their lives easier. What can you do to make the process more understandable or easier for them? Highlight, hey, we have online, you can pay your bill online. So you don't have to go to the facility, drop things off, all sorts of stuff. And then every once in a while, throw in there maybe more of a promotional thing. But it's really a balance between how many, posts you do. You don't want to overwhelm people with the number of posts, but you don't want to, like you said, sporadically post. I would definitely keep a schedule and consistency so that people start to notice, like, oh, on Mondays they tend to post something, or on Wednesdays. And if it's something that I'm interested in, I'll like take notice on Wednesday. Are they in my feed? Am I seeing something from them? That kind of a thing. And plus, it's just good to keep on top of mind. Everybody's getting all these marketing messages from all over the place. Signs, television, radio, audiobooks, YouTube, it doesn't matter. You're getting messages. So really, social media and SEO is about keeping top of mind when people are looking for self-storage. Sometimes they need to know if there is a hurricane coming your way, what they need to do. Can they get to their storage facility? Was there damage? Anything like that. There's been a lot of weather related, emergencies across the nation. And so that's always a good tool to be able to use to get that information out. So think of these things and different ways you can use them that are helpful for your tenants.
Yeah. And we also do the local listings. So you can do coupons there. Your Google business profile will manage that. We can do the posting there for you. Pretty much anything that's online, essentially, is what we can help out with.
So do you look at their website and kind of offer or go in and update so they are optimizing that SEO?
Yes. Yeah, we do an SEO kickoff initially. There's like a lot of different components to it. We're going to add you to Bing Webmasters, Google Search Console, check for errors there to make sure everything's good. Our SEO team analyzes all the algorithm updates, understands those super well. So when something changes, we can go back and do things, but we also have a 50-word ranking report, up to 50 words. That's our custom created local keywords for your area that we go in and measure and make sure, the most important, most search terms are ranking best first, and then follow with all those other keywords just to make sure you're kind of found no matter what somebody's searching for. If maybe people don't call self-storage mini storage in your area, but some people do. So we're going to go ahead and try to get you to rank for that keyword.
How would someone, if they don't hire you, how do they find out what those keywords are?
You can use, they have keyword tools. They have the AdWords like Google Planner. Unfortunately, you have to have ads to use that. But you can, if you're on Google Search Console, also, it'll give you some of those important keywords. I think on analytics as well, it'll give you some of the common search terms. It's just a matter of research. Maybe you definitely want, like, if you have like a zip code, your city, if your city, like their subdivision or area is called something different. So you just want to use like first the key phrases: storage, self-storage, storage units. These are going to be the most competitive. Rent storage online, if you have an online rental storage tool. Suite, sorry. And, reserve storage. So it's just you can kind of look around at other websites too, if you don't have those tools, just to see, kind of what people are doing. And as I mentioned before, if you want to go to Google and search for self-storage, it shows you some of the things people are looking for. You can even put some of your other keywords there that you've already come up with. What are people asking? What are the keywords they're using there? Which ones can you utilize?
Yeah, and even in the search box, it'll automatically try to give you prompts.
That's
And that'll show you what other people are searching for. So if you put self-storage underneath, it may automatically say rentals or something like that. So you can know, okay, other people are searching these terms.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we have a special guest here.
Yay.
Jessica Johnson.
I don't miss these often.
Marketing.
I'm sorry I missed today, but I had another obligation, but that wrapped up early, so I figured I would just jump in. I heard the tail end of the conversation. It sounded like a good conversation. And I want to echo a lot of what you ladies are saying and just emphasize on the title of this webinar, why search engine optimization and social media are still relevant. Here's the biggest takeaway I can give you. Whatever feeds the Google monster, feed it.
Yeah.
As possible. We do have an updated list of Google ranking factors, what they hold of importance. So we will share that in our resources with everyone after today's event. It's a great thing just to see how you can get some of that organic ranking. Business listings was mentioned earlier, reviews, things like that, that Google really cares about because the algorithm does change. But I can tell you SEO optimization and social media, Google does care about, so feed the Google monster.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Thank
And that's
you.
all I have.
She's like, and I'm ending on a high note.
I just feel like we're just like constantly spoon feeding Google. And like, you know, and Jody, I do want to echo what Jody said too. And what Iris said. Yes, we do love a lot of this artificial intelligence coming out, specifically ChatGPT. It is very hard to be a content writer, even a dedicated content writer. You get writer's block. You're writing all the time. We write all the time over here at SBOA, more Iris than me. And I know that she gets it. So it's a really nice way to take that creative element kind of out, where it gives you this outline and then you fill in the blanks and give it your own brand identity, your own brand voice, your own spin on how your brand talks. Our brand, because I power the brand, mainly talks a little funky like I do, but that's because that's who I am. And that's what people associate to the SBOA. So you'll see sometimes we'll say like cool and hip terms like asking for a friend. That's relevant to millennials and these younger generations because that's how they talk. Like, what's the other one? The acronym, like the if you know, you know, the IK, what you like, you can use like fun things depending on who your target audience is. But that's the key. You need to know who your target audience is. And if you don't have the skill set to figure that out from a marketing level, there's agency people like the Storage Group that can help you figure out who that audience is and how you should be talking to them, because you do have to talk to them differently. And studies recently are showing that a lot of people in these newer generations care about diversity in messaging. So your graphics can't be all beautiful blonde-haired women that look like they walked off the cover of an LA magazine, right? They want to see diversity. They want to see people of ethnic backgrounds, heavier set people, you know, males, females, a combination of everything. It's important. Diversity, inclusion is important. But again, anything that you can do to feed that Google monster, please feed it. And thank you, ladies, for joining us today. We couldn't do these webinars without experts out in the industry and vendor partners like the Storage Group. If anyone has questions for the Storage Group, we'll send out all of their links after today's event. You can get in touch with them. They have the click and store software, website development, and then can help you over on that PPC and digital side with some of your strategies there, and probably even give you suggestions on grassroots and local store marketing ideas, because you really do have to have a blend in today's society, I believe, and especially depending on your market. And if you are in a market that is inundated by REITs,
I can promise you the REITs are not taking it to that grassroots level. So that's a very easy way for you to remain competitive against the REITs. They're taking that global digital, they're pumping millions of dollars into their digital strategy where you don't have that. So you have to get creative and you have to blend in the local. And like Jody said, the backlinking you can get from an authoritative person like your local chamber of commerce, that's great. And you can share back to them as well. So ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. I have a couple quick announcements for the audience before we wrap up today. Ladies, if you want to stay behind and listen to me go on, you're welcome to. If not, you are free to jump from today's webinar. Again, thank you for helping us host.
Thank you for this opportunity. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. So upcoming things that we have going on at the SBOA that you should know about. Next Wednesday, April 17th, is our add-on session 5 for the Storage for Rookies program. If you don't know what Storage for Rookies is, please visit storageforrookies.com or our website. We are in the middle of a transition of our website right now. So if anybody runs into any barriers with links on our website, just email Iris or I. We'll get you pointed in the right direction while we're going through this transitional period. But nonetheless, Storage for Rookies is a 5-part training series for new or newer owners looking to get into the space, how to, develop or acquire their first property and or grow their portfolio. Maybe you have 1 or 2 locations and you dream on having 25, and how we can get you to that 25 at an accelerated rate by learning things the right way and doing things the right way the first time and getting connected to the right vendor partners like the storage group that we had here with us today. And getting connected to other owner operators where you can bounce best practices off of them. That's why we do these educational seminars and webinars for you. So next Wednesday, the 17th, and this add-on session is for anybody. You didn't have to take the first 4-part sessions 1 through 4. But if you would like to tune into sessions 1 through 4, you have 2 options. You can go in and watch the recording of Group A of students that we just did over the first quarter, or even better, you can sign up and live participate with us for our sessions we have coming up in quarter 2. Again, it'll be sessions 1 through 4. Session 1 is how to get into the business. Session 2 is, okay, you're in the business. What are your critical timelines that you're going to be faced with in development, acquisition, taking over a property, whatever that is. And then the key vendors that you should be working with in this process to make sure you have a good property management system, good website, things of that nature. Session 3 is, okay, you've been in it for a while, you're operating and you're marketing. What can we do to help you increase your efficiencies in operations, cut your costs, and then also help you plan and strategize your marketing dollars effectively and not waste marketing dollars, precious marketing dollars, because marketing is expensive. PPC is expensive. And, we have a decline in demand right now. So obviously that can be troublesome from, a budgeting perspective, but we can definitely help you with some ideas there in that session 3 on how to better operate and market your facilities. Session 4 is, okay, you've really been in doing this. Now we really want to maximize your NOI, your profitability. We want to cut costs where we can. We want to deploy proper technologies where we can, because not every single technology out there is for every single owner operator. There definitely is the right tech stack out there for you. We just want to make sure that you're getting the right tech stack. And then again, like I was mentioning earlier, 5th session is how you're done with being in self-storage. You want to get out of the business. How do you sell these things? How do you make the most value? How do you market the value of your property? And realistic expectations as a seller in today's market. So really great session we'll have for you next Wednesday. That's happening from 11 to 4, all virtual, just like we do right here for Self-Storage Unlocked. Iris is putting all kinds of links in the chat for you. And if you're an SBOA enhanced member, not only do you get free access to Self-Storage Unlocked like you did today for just $9.99 a month, and typically we run that promotionally for $4.99 a month at half off, you also will get half off your ticket cost to Storage for Rookies, which I think the ticket cost is like $250 if you're not an enhanced member. So look about about spending about like $150, $175. And then if you do the add-on, maybe a little bit more. But all of those details are in those links that Iris is giving you. Trade show season is here. We are back out live. We were just at the Inside Self Storage Expo last week with just about everyone in the industry in Vegas. Next week, we will be at the Arizona Self Storage Association show in Phoenix, Arizona. That is next Wednesday through Friday. If you are an owner or operator, vendor, whatever it is, broker in the state of Arizona, and you have not registered for that show, highly recommend that you attend. It's 2.5 days of really good education, plus a charity golf tournament that may be sold out. That sells out pretty quick, but that usually happens on Wednesday. So check that out. You can go to ASA's website for further information. And then the week after that, we are what the industry calls INCEO, which is Indiana, INCEO. I always get this screwed up. Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio, those 3 states together, Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio, hence INCEO is the abbreviation. I'll be there running a technology panel. We will also be in the expo hall. So if you want to learn more about the Storage Business Owners Alliance, please come say hello and visit me there. Following that conference, we'll be over in Missouri at Lake of the Ozarks for the Missouri show. I am speaking at that show. Don't remember the topic off of the top of my head right now, but it has something to do with marketing and operations like I typically speak about. So if you will be in Missouri, come check out what we have to talk about, as well as our products and services that we offer to the industry. And then I believe our next self-storage unlock, let me grab my calendar, is Irish. You might have to help me on this one. It's either the 18th or the 25th. I think we're back live on the 25th. Yeah, we should be back live on the 25th because we wouldn't be back live week-to-week backs. But stay tuned to our newsletter that comes out every Tuesday. Also on our social media, we always post when we do these with the registration links. Again, we'll be back on the 25th of April for another Self-Storage Unlocked. If you're an enhanced SBOA member, you get to visit these for free. If you're not, you go to Eventbrite, you pay us a $4.99 ticket fee to access this material. But why wouldn't you just pay an extra $5 to become an enhanced member and get access to all of them throughout the entire year of 2024? Plus, if you missed any that we've already done in Q1, you're able to go back and watch the replays. So all of the links are there. We'll send you a follow-up email from today's webinar with all the resources, all of the links, and the way that you can get in touch with the storage group. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday and a great weekend. Enjoy the weather if you have nice weather where you are calling in from. Take care, everyone. See you soon.
Are you a self-storage facility owner or manager looking to attract more customers and boost your business? Look no further than the Storage Group, the ultimate solution for your online marketing needs. The Storage Group is a digital marketing firm specializing in cutting-edge self-storage technology products and services. We ensure industry success and improve customer experience through website design, digital marketing services, search engine optimization, and software development for the storage industry. And the Storage Group's Click and Store is self-storage's only rental suite. This is more than a rental tool. Click and Store Online Rental Suite is an extensive platform that optimizes revenue, enhances rental security, and increases your facility's visibility. We pioneer, innovate, and create. Our experts develop proven digital marketing strategies catered to your needs. With extensive search marketing research, we drive client success through their websites. Contact us for more information at www.storageinternetmarketing.com or call 407-680-2235.